GST as it's being applied today. Now, the concern of our forum today is the marginalized business people who are uneducated, sometimes, most of the time actually, and the female entrepreneurs who are first-time entrepreneurs and they've been at village level or small town level, have got small businesses which they're trying to grow. Now, their relationship with GST has always been a little tenuous because to understand, to wrap your head around GST, to start off with, even very educated people had a tough time trying to understand how GST was going to be applied. And the government had assured us that it was going to be no contact, no inspection, no nothing. It was done purely on turnover of your business, and certain products were charged at a certain level, depending on how luxurious they were or how necessary they were. And some were exempted. Now, what has happened is, starting with Gujarat, everything starts with Gujarat nowadays, as you can see, even Delhi starts with Gujarat. So, starting with Gujarat, they found in a place called Surat, which is a very high industrial level diamond city, that a lot of small companies had actually fudged their GST numbers. That the GST numbers were not real, they were fudged. And that how that made a difference was that, number one, they could charge the clients for the GST and not have to pay it and then reclaim it back again. So it was a double whammy. So they found out that this was happening on a relatively large scale and it was quite alarming. So they sent out inspectors, physical inspectors for the first time. Like unlike the old time when the sales tax chaps used to come to your office or the excise department to come to your office, GST has never actually been to physically to anybody's organization. They just examine their books. The first time the inspectors were sent to the organizations to verify whether their GST numbers were fake or whether they were real. And they found a lot of fake ones. But they also found the point is that they couldn't have built this volume of fake ones without some level of collusion. Because the moment you have a scam at this level, you automatically, unless it's colluded and everybody decides to, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, it's not going to work. So obviously there was a lot of collusion, but the victims of that fudging or whatever it was were actually people who were very marginalized, who had turnover below 3-4 lakhs, who didn't have money to either pay off the inspector at which scale, because if you have a physical check, then that's the only way to get out of it, or pay off a lawyer to actually contest whether his GST number was real or fraud. So, our objective today is to actually make an appeal to the finance ministry and whichever ministry is concerned that it's not difficult to find out fraud numbers without being physically there. When you're physically present, it only allows for bribery and corruption. So if it's non-physical and if your books are examined on the computer with computer data, then if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. And you can then apply or your GST number suspended, how to go about applying it for a new one so that you can do business, or you just do business without applying for a GST number. So these are the issues. Now, if the business is above a couple of crores, then they are relatively savvy about their tax, entries. And they have lawyers who they can actually consult. So if they are shut down in any way by the GST department, the excise department, they can appeal and they know how to do it. But the people who right now we are representing are people who are muta chaps. And neither do they have the money, nor do they have the acumen to go to people who will actually consult them. So the only people left for them to come to when they were in trouble was us. So Vinod will tell you exactly how many people we actually physically helped by giving them templates. What's happened also is that when you look at lawyers generally, all the financial lawyers who advise you on financial things like tax things charge you about 10 times more than any regular lawyer does. So if a lawyer is going to draft a letter to the GST department to appeal for a new number because your old number was fraud, we charge you a lakh. Try it. So if you actually dig a little bit, you'll realize what the rate structure is. Now, for a company that has a 10, 15 crore turnover, giving him a lakh is no big deal. But for a company with a 5 lakh turnover, giving a lakh means complete closure of your own business. And the most susceptible, the most vulnerable group of people who we've helped in this business are the ones who hit the most. The bigger fish always get away because they have the resources and they have the means and they have the education to do it. It's only the small people who are marginalized people who get hit the hardest because they have to actually shut down because they don't know what to do after this. So, we want to give you a much better picture of exactly how we've been trying to interact and why we need the press conference today was to actually open up this whole issue as to when you have physical examination, who actually gets hit. It's the people who are the smallest, not the big fish. It's never the big fish. So what we're trying to tell the government right now is to pull everybody back. And you can go on computer data and you can figure out which is a false, GST certificate and which is a real one. You don't have to have physical people there who are then open to all kinds of amenabilities. Because the whole idea of removing physical checks was so that you could bring down corruption. But they've actually gone the full circle and gone back to the old Lassus Raj style. And that I think we need to stop at this stage because it's only going to harm the smaller people, not the bigger people.